Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Safivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannabadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vidhnopasante Yasyat Viradavakradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nighnanti Satatam Vishwaksenam Tamastraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namostute Vyasa Visala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patranetra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Sankhya Yoga, embracing divinity through knowledge. Sanjaya said, then Madhusudana spoke the following words to Arjuna, who had been moved by a false sense of compassion and was sorrowful with vision blurred by moist eyes. Sri Bhagavan said, Arjuna, at this intricate moment, where did you get this confusion and cowardly thinking from? It suppresses your divine nature. It shuts the door of the divine light in you and leaves you in shame as a result. Partha, don't be a spineless coward. It's not you. You destroy your enemies like a fire, don't you? Give up this despicable feebleness of mind. At once, get up. Arjuna said, Madhusudana, you are the conqueror of enemies. Tell me, how can I shoot arrows and wage war with Bhishma and Drona, whom I reverentially worship? Begging a livelihood is better than killing the most respectable elders, is it not? The worldly pleasures one gets after killing his teachers are only tainted with their blood. How can I even think of enjoying them? We may win over them or they may win over us. I do not know which is better. But the sons of Dhritarashtra, after vanquishing whom we do not wish to live, are standing in front of us, facing us in war. Confused by the pulse of compassion and not knowing what the right thing to do, I ask you, I surrender to you. Take me as your disciple, Krishna, and teach me. Tell me with certainty what is most beneficial. Even if I were to rule a bountiful world without any enemies, or even the world of angels itself, I do not see a solution to my sorrow and the misery I am experiencing in my mind and senses. Sanjaya said, Arjuna, who strikes terror among enemies and who has the ability to control sleep, spoke these words to Krishna, the master of the senses. Then looking at Krishna, who cares for and takes care of all beings, he said, I will not fight, and kept mum. O King Dhritarashtra, then the master of the senses, Krishna, with a sweet and soothing smile blooming on his face, spoke these words to Arjuna, who looked dismal and dejected in the midst of the two orbis. Sri Bhagavan said, you talk with the boast of a scholar, yet you are sad about matters that one should not be sad about. Scholars do not get sad with either the living or the dead, because I, you, and all these rulers were never non-existent and will never be so in the future also. You see, there is this entity dwelling within the body, the indweller, that enjoys the childhood, the youth, and the advanced age stages of the body. Afterwards, it discards the body and takes another one. So, the wise remain undisturbed with the changes and passages of the body. Look, my dear son of Kunti, the senses touch the sense objects as per their nature. These sensory contacts give rise to the feelings of cold, heat, pleasure, misery, etc. These feelings come and go, appear and disappear. They are transitory. My dear Bharata, develop fortitude. Bear them unconcerned. Arjuna, you are a man of excellences. Remember, he whom the pleasures and miseries of life do not disturb, and whose intelligence is firmly established in the constancy among the changes, only he can be blissful always. That which is not seen, that which is not, can never be. That which is, can never not be. Those who have understood the truth experience the finality of these two observations. That by which all these are filled with, understand and know it to be deathless. No one can destroy this changeless entity. While the indweller of the body is permanent, indestructible, and immeasurable, the various bodies it adorns do have an end. Therefore, Bharata, engage yourself in battle. Those who believe the indweller kills and those who believe the indweller gets killed, both do not know the truth. This indwelling entity, the Atma, neither kills nor gets killed. This entity never takes birth and never dies. It is never absent. Therefore, it is not something that makes its presence felt out of a sometime absent situation. It has no birth, undergoes no change, ancient, and is always present. It is not killed when the body is killed. Partha, he who knows this entity to be indestructible, permanent, without birth and changeless, tell me, whom will he kill or who will he take to be the killer? The indweller discards old, used-up bodies and dons new ones. In much the same way, man discards old, used-up clothes and dons new clothes. Weapons do not destroy this entity. Fire does not burn this. Water doesn't wet this. Wind doesn't dry it. This entity cannot be cut, burnt, wetted, or dried. It is indestructible, always present everywhere without movement, and is well established. It is beyond the ability of the senses to perceive and of the mind to capture. It cannot be changed in any way whatsoever. Therefore, understand it as such. Do not be disheartened. But, on the other hand, if you take this to be undergoing births and deaths always, even then also you should not grieve, O the one with victorious shoulders. Death is a certainty for the born, and birth is a certainty for the dead, isn't it? Therefore, you need not worry yourself over this inevitability of things and get disheartened. Bharata, for all the worldly things, absence is the beginning, appearance is the middle, and disappearance into absence is the end. So why bother with them? Some see it as a wonder, some speak of it in wonder, and some hear it as wonder, but no one really knows it. Bharata, this indweller in all bodies is always deathless. Therefore, you should not be heartbroken in matters concerning the bodies. Now, even if you were to look at this from the perspective of Swadharma, conduct promoting welfare for all beings, Swadharma, there is no need to be disheartened, because for a warrior there is nothing more beneficial than to wage war for protecting the welfare of the society. My dear Partha, only the fortunate warriors get such war opportunities, opening the meritorious pathway to heaven. Therefore, if you do not engage yourself in this meritorious war, you will be shirking your allotted duty and will incur sin. You will also lose your reputation. In addition, the world will forever be speaking of your shame. For a person of repute such as yourself, ill fame is worse than death, is it not? The great chariot warriors will think that you did not engage in battle because of fear. Having earned their respect in the past, you will now become their object of cheap talk. Your enemies will ridicule your prowess and skills and will speak despicable words. Can anything be more painful than that? If you get killed in this war, you reach heaven. If you win this war, you rule and enjoy the world. Therefore, my dear son of Kunti, get up with determination. Engage in battle. Engage in the battle with a mindset balanced towards pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and failure. Then you will incur no sin. This is knowledge, my dear Partha. I've told you the perspective. Now, I will tell you how to practice it. Establish yourself in this perspective practice envelope. You will free yourself from the work result bondage. My dear Partha, listen carefully. There is no wasted effort in this practice. There are no undesirable results. Even a little bit of practice protects you from the greatest of fears. Guru Nandana, once you are firmly committed to this practice, your mind becomes one steady thing. Those who are uncommitted to this practice have many a scattered and endless mind. My dear Partha, the unenlightened, attracted to discussions about the meaning of the Vedas and claiming there is nothing superior, engage in those discussions. Burning with desires, they seek the heavens, focusing on sensory pleasures and societal positions. They speak with flowery words about birth resulting from actions and about actions that are expansive and exalted. Being immersed in the wealth of sensory pleasures and losing their sense of discrimination because of that, they are unable to get the firmness of commitment to the prescribed practice. Listen, Arjuna, the Vedas are about the three basic natural attributes, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. But you must transcend these three attributes, Arjuna. You must keep yourself beyond the two opposing experiences, pleasure, pain, victory, defeat, cold, heat, etc. You must have firm determination in not worrying about acquiring things and also not worrying about in protecting what has been acquired. You must be firmly focused inwards without worrying about the body. Be like this, my dear Arjuna, be like this. When there is water available in abundance everywhere, what use is the water in a drinking pot? The Vedas have the same use for the person who has experienced and established himself with the one entity that is present everywhere. Do your action. That is your right. Do not desire result at any time. Do not undertake an action desiring results. Do not be attached to inaction. My dear Dhananjaya, with firm determination, give up the attachment to seeking result and do all your actions on this basis. This will give you peace in victory and in failure. It is said that such a mindset of undeserved peace is union with divinity, is yoga. Doing action without desiring the result is far superior to doing action desiring results and rewards. Therefore, my dear Dhananjaya, surrender to this superior way of doing your actions. Those who do work seeking rewards are kripanas. They take birth in this world and die without undertaking serious inquiry about the indweller. With firmly established in such a work attitude, one incurs neither merit nor demerit, neither punyam nor papam from the worldly actions. Therefore, firmly embrace and hold on to this attitude. This is action well done. It is union with divinity. The learned, doing their work with a firmly established attitude of giving up attachment to the result of their work, get released from the bondage of birth. It is certain that they attain a state of awareness where there is no misery. When your mind goes beyond the churnings of attachment, then you really become unconcerned with the past and the future. When your mind that has become a kaleidoscope of by hearing countless things becomes steady by establishing with the indweller, then you become one with divinity. Arjuna said, Keshava, tell me, how does a Sthitaprajna, a steady wisdom individual, how is he firmly established thus in the indweller, the way that you are asking? How is he? What does he look like? How does he speak? What is his appearance like? How does he walk? Sri Bhagavan said, Partha, when a person pushing away all the desires of his mind, contacts and experiences the bliss of his own inner self, then he is called Sthitaprajna, firmly established with the indweller. When he is neither agitated by misery nor impelled to seek pleasure, and when he is devoid of attachment, fear and anger, he is called a Muni, with a firm and well-established wisdom. Remaining unattached everywhere, he experiences the pleasant and the unpleasant occurrences in life without either getting elated by happiness or deflated by sadness. His knowledge is firmly established indeed. In addition, when such a Muni, just as a tortoise draws in its limbs, withdraws his senses from attaching to their sense objects in myriad ways, then his knowledge is firmly established indeed. When senses are withdrawn from their objects, the objects disappear. But the inherent attraction between the sense and its object does remain. But this residual attraction for a sense object flies away in the person who has experienced the indweller. My dear son of Kunti, but the senses toss and churn even a wise and determined person and drag him powerfully, don't they? But when he places his mind in me with determination, then the senses will come under control. He who has controlled his senses has his knowledge firmly established. When a person focuses on an item, an object, a thought, or whatever, he connects with it. This connection, sticking together, gives birth to desire. Desire leads to anger. Anger gives rise to confusion, and confusion to loss of understanding. Unable to understand, he loses his discrimination and perishes. Controlling the senses and enjoying the sense objects without attraction or repulsion, the self-controlled person experiences the inner peace. All his miseries die in this inner peace. Soon, his mind becomes purified and establishes itself well in the inner peace. For a wavering person, there is no discrimination, and hence no focus on divinity. Without divine thoughts, there can be no mental peace. Without mental peace, how can there be happiness? The mind that obeys and follows the wavering senses carries away its discrimination, just as the wind blowing over the sea carries away a boat. Therefore, my dear Arjuna with mighty shoulders, he who has withdrawn his senses from their objects has his knowledge well established. The night in which all beings sleep is when the Muni is wide awake. When all beings are wide awake, that is truly the night time for the Muni. Just as rivers take refuge in the expansive and ever peaceful ocean, he whose desires take refuge in the indweller attains peace. He who chases desires does not. He who gives up all desires and lives without any attachment and without the feeling, I am the doer and mine, attains peace. This peace, my dear Partha, is a state of oneness with Brahman. Having attained it, he will never fall prey to attachment. He firmly and unshakably stays in this state, even at the time of exhaling his last breath, becoming Brahman himself. Teachings from the Lord, as recorded by Vyasa Muni. Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tata Kripaya Vishtam Asrupurna Akulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kuchastva Kasmalamidam Vishame Samupastitam Anaryajushtam Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna Traibhyam Masma Gamaha Partha Naitatvam Upapadhyate Chudram Hriday Daurbalyam Tyaktva Uttishta Parantapa. Arjuna Vacha Katam Bhishma Maham Sankhye Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubihi Pratiyosyami Pujaharva Arisudana Kurun Hatvahi Mahanubhavan Sreyo Bhoktum Bhoksham Api Iha Loke Hatvarta Kamamsu Guruni Haiva Bunjiya Bogan Rudira Pradigdhan Na Chaitat Vignaha Kataranno Gariyo Yadva Jayema Yadiva No Jayayuhu Yaneva Hatva Na Viji Vishame Te Vistaha Pramukhe Dhartarashtraha Karpanya Dosha Upahasta Bhavaha Prachami Tvam Dharma Sammuda Chetaha Yastreyaha Syan Nischitam Bruhi Tat Me Sishyasteham Sadhimam Tvam Prapannam Nahi Prapasyami मम अपनुध्यात् यच्चोकमुच्चोषणम् इन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नमुग्धम् राज्यम् सुराणाम् अपि च आधिपत्यम्. भगवान् उवाच एवम् उक्त्वा सञ्जय उवाच एवम् उक्त्वा ऋषिकेशम् गुटाकेशः परन्तपः न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीम् बभूवः. तम् उवाच ऋषिकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोः उभयोः मध्ये विषीदन्तम् इदम् वचः. श्री भगवान् उवाच असोच्यान् अन्वसोचः त्वम् प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासून् अगतासूंश्च न अनुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः न तेवाहम् चातुनासम् न त्वम् नेमे जनातिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्. देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारम् यौवनम् जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरः तत्र न मुह्यति. मात्रा स्पर्शस्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमपायिनः अनित्याः ताम् तितिक्षस्व भारत तितिक्षस्व. यम् हि न व्यतयन्त्येते पुरुषम् पुरुषर्षभ समदुःख सुखम् धीरम् स अमृतत्वाय कल्पते. नासतो विद्यते भावः नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः तु अनयोः तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. अविनाशी तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदम् ततम् विनाशम् अव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुम् अर्हति. अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनः अप्रमेयः अस्य तस्मात् युध्यस्व भारत. येनम् वेत्ति हन्तारम् यश्चैनम् मन्यते हतम् उभौ तो न विजानीतः न अयम् हन्ति न हन्यते. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् न अयम् भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयम् पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. वेदाविनाशिनम् नित्यम् येनम् अजम् अव्ययम् कथम् स पुरुषः पार्थ कम् घातयति हन्ति कम्. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णानि नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. नैनम् छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनम् दहति पावकः न चैनम् क्लेदयति आपो न शोषयति मारुतः. अच्छेद्योऽयम् अदाह्येयम् अक्लेद्य अशोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतः स्थाणुः अचलः अयम् सनातनः. अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयम् उच्यते तस्मात् एवम् विदित्वैनम् न अनुशोचितुम् अर्हसि. अथ चैनम् नित्यजातम् नित्यम् वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वम् महाबाहो नैनम् शोचितुम् अर्हसि. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवम् जन्म मृत्यस्य च तस्मात् अपरिहार्यर्थे न त्वम् शोचितुम् अर्हसि. अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना. आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चित् येनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव च अन्यः आश्चर्यवत् येनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वा तेऽपि येनम् वेद न चैव कश्चित्. देहि नित्यम् अवध्योऽयम् देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वम् शोचितुम् अर्हसि. स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुम् अर्हसि. धर्म्याद्धि युद्धात् श्रेयः अन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते. यदृच्छया चोपपन्नम् स्वर्गद्वारम् अपावृतम् सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धम् ईदृशम्. अथ चेत्त्वम् इमम् धर्म्यम् संग्रामम् न करिष्यसि तत स्वधर्मम् कीर्तिम् च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि. अकीर्तिम् चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययाम् सम्भावितस्य च अकीर्तिः मरणात् अधिरुच्यते. भयात् रणात् उपरतम् मंस्यन्ते त्वाम् महारथाः येषाम् च त्वम् बहुमतः भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्. अवाच्य वादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तः तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गम् जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मात् उत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व न एवं पापमवाप्स्यसि येषा ते भीता सांख्ये बुद्धियोहे त्वीत् मां शृणु बुद्धया युक्तः यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि नेहा न इह अभिक्रमनाशः अस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयान् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरुनन्दन बहुशाखा हि अनन्ताश्च बुद्धयाः अव्यवसायिनाम् यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्ति अविपश्चितः वेदवातरताः पार्थ न अन्यत् अस्ति इति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा जन्मकर्म फलप्रदां क्रियाविशेष बहुलां भोगैश्वर्य गतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया पहृत्त चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भव अर्जुन निर्वद्वन्तो नित्य सत्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः कर्मण्येव अधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते संगोऽस्तु अकर्मणि योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्धय सिद्धयोः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योगयुज्यते दूरेण हि हवरं कर्म बुद्धियोहात् धनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणम् अन्विच्छ कृपणाः फलहेतवाः बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते तस्मात् योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम् कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्ध विनिर्मुक्ताः पदं गच्छन्ति अनामयम् यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिः व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च श्रुति विप्रतिपन्ना ते यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिः तदा योगम् अवाप्स्यसि अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधीः किं प्रभाषेत किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम् श्री भगवान् उवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थ मनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञः तत उच्यते दुःखेषु अनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीः मुनिः उच्यते यः सर्वत्रान् अभिस्नेहस्तः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् न अभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वतः इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽपि अस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमातीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वसेहि यस्य इन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगान् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयान् इन्द्रियैः चरन् आत्मवश्यैः विधेयात्मा prasadam adhigacchati. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanihi asya upajayate. Prasanna chetasaha hi asu buddhihi paryavatishtate. Nasti buddhihi ayuktasya nacha ayuktasya bhavana nacha abhavayataha shantihi asantasya kutaha sukam. Indriyanam hi charatam yan manah anuvidhiyate tad asya harati prajñam vayuhu navam iva ambasi. Tasmad vyasya mahabaho nighritani sarvasah indriyani indriyartebhyah tasya prajña pratishtitha. Ya nisa sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisa pasyate munehe. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudram apaha pravisanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravisanti sarvesa shantim apnoti na kamakami. Vihaya kaman yas sarvan pumam charati nisprugah nirmamo nirahankaraha sa shantim adhigacchati. Esha brahmi stitihi partha. Esha brahmi stitihi nainam prapya vimuhyati sthitva antakalepi brahma nirvanam rucchati. It is Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Sastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyo Dhyayaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.